Top story this half hour. The search continues this morning for a man who was reported missing while on a hike.
And our live reporter, KITV4's Shanila Kabir, joins us from the Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail this morning with the latest on the search efforts. Shanila.
Hello, yes, police say the man may have been hiking near the Makapu'u Lighthouse. Here, there's helicopters, fire, and rescue at the scene. Honolulu police say 23-year-old Chase Ingalls was last heard from 3 days ago on Friday. The Honolulu Fire Department and Ocean Safety lifeguards began searching for Ingalls by land and sea since Sunday evening, covering the space between Makapu'u Beach Park and Manalei Bay. HFD says police told them a backpack belonging to Ingalls was found at the top of the trail Saturday, and his car was located in the parking lot. If residents have any information, they're encouraged to call Crime Stoppers at 808-955-8300. Reporting live, I'm Shanila Kabir, KITV4 Island News.
Hello folks, and welcome back to another case study where I talk about and analyze some of the strangest state and national park missing person cases out there. In this segment, I'll be covering the disappearance of a 23-year-old man who vanished while hiking the Makapu'u Lighthouse Trail in Hawaii. Despite extensive search efforts involved in the outpouring of support from the community, there just isn't a whole lot of clues pointing to the young man's whereabouts. So let's begin. On Friday, May 6th, 2022, 23-year-old Chase Ingalls, an experienced and avid hiker, was last heard from by family members as he set out on the 2-mile, round-trip, moderately difficult hiking trail that follows scenic Kaohu state shoreline and offers rewarding views of pristine Oahu coastline and the iconic red-roofed Makapu'u Lighthouse. We'll get more into the details of the trail later, but first let's talk about Chase and what may have brought him to the location. Now, I was unable to find much information about Chase in general, but one thing is clear. The entire community of Honolulu has offered their support in locating him. As of June 2022, nearly $10,000 has been raised through GoFundMe to help aid in the search effort. Family of Chase state that he was an avid hiker and was in good spirits at the time of his hike. The 23-year-old is 6'1" and weighs 195 pounds. A clothing description was not given, but sources say he may have been wearing a brightly colored t-shirt and a baseball cap at the time of his disappearance. Family added that Chase visited the trail on numerous occasions previously and knew the area well. So let's go ahead and switch gears and talk about the Makapu'u Point Lighthouse Trail, just to give you an idea of what Chase and search and rescue were up against. As mentioned earlier, the 2-mile round-trip, moderately difficult trail is a pedestrian-only trail and reaches an elevation of 500 feet. The trail is located off of Highway 72 at the southwesternmost point of Oahu. A parking area offers access to the trailhead, and from there, follow the trail as it climbs up the western side of the ridge, which marks the halfway point before switching back to the north. It's here that the ridge levels out somewhat, but gradually climbs up toward the summit, where a pair of guardrailed lookouts offer panoramic vistas. Now, the trail is categorized as being moderate for several reasons. Although short in length, there are portions of the trail that are quite steep, windy, and exposed to the hot and dry temperatures of the island. In terms of biological diversity, there just isn't a whole lot up there other than low-growing vegetation and various types of seabirds that draw in many onlookers. I was unable to find any information about any other kinds of wildlife one might expect to see out there, but if you've actually visited the area, let us know if there's anything we should be concerned about. Well, just from what I've gathered about this trail, I believe the height and the heat pose the majority of risk out there. So could Chase have been unprepared for the high temperatures, or have had an accident? Well, before we address the possibilities here, let's talk about the extensive search and rescue effort that would follow in the days and weeks after his disappearance. Now, the Department of Land and Natural Resources have expressed their concerns about a reoccurring issue of hikers leaving the safety of the trail and entering unmanaged areas. In fact, the disappearance of Chase has prompted legislative action that would prevent curious explorers from wandering off the beaten path in the future. A part of this proposal would require people paying for their rescues if found in violation of entering off-limit areas. So this tells me this sort of thing happens quite frequently, but a brief search of the area's history doesn't appear to show any other missing person cases or serious accidents. But could Chase have wandered off that beaten path? Was Chase a risk-taker and a thrill-seeker? We all know too well about the dangers and the consequences of being overconfident out there in the outdoors. Chase was reported missing on May 6, 2022, after failing to check in with his loved ones. In the week-long search that followed his disappearance, several dozen Honolulu police, Coast Guard, and the Ocean Safety Patrol responded to the missing man. Early in the search, Chase's car was located in the trailhead's parking area, and his backpack was found along the trailway, though I was unable to find any information about the exact location of that backpack. Pearl Ingalls, Chase's mother, stated that his laptop was inside of his backpack, along with an empty water bottle, his wallet, and his car keys. She added that his cell phone was never found. The mother last spoke with Chase on Friday, May 6th, and that they had discussed Chase's brother's college graduation, and that it would be live-streamed the following day. She stated that Chase was looking forward to it, and had prepared his laptop for the event, so that he could watch his brother during the ceremony in Oklahoma. She also noted that it was unusual of him to have gone on a hike just prior to the event, as he would have done everything he could to be a part of it. All phone calls ceased on May 7th, the day of the brother's graduation. Also, inside the backpack was a receipt from Target, dated Friday evening, which means Chase most likely went on a hike on Saturday morning. May 8th kicked off the first round of searches by the Honolulu Fire Department. Soon after, search and rescue vessels from the Coast Guard and Ocean Safety Patrol were deployed, searching miles of coastline in and around the Kaohu region. Aerial searches use forward-looking infrared technology at nighttime and through areas of low visibility. By this point, both his car and backpack had already been located, but no other sign of Chase was found. Several other hikers who were in the area at the time he went missing were interviewed and cleared. Search dogs didn't have much luck either, as all leads led to nowhere. Inclement weather would complicate search efforts by days 3 and 4, and by day 7, resources began to dry up. Given this and the total lack of clues, the decision to end the official search was made, though a handful of friends and family volunteered to keep the search active a little while longer. As of June 2022, there have been no updates regarding Chase's disappearance. Let's go ahead and talk about what may have happened to the young man. Well, just by looking at the photos of the trail and the surrounding area, we can see the potential for things to go wrong under the right circumstances. There are hazards everywhere: cliffs, rocky terrain, arid and dry conditions, and bad weather. Anyone caught in the crosshairs of any of these elements just might end up having a bad day. Now, it was mentioned that an empty water bottle was found in the backpack. Had Chase simply ran out of water for some odd reason? Well, we all know that he was well experienced, well prepared, and knew the trail well, having been there on prior occasions. The temperatures recorded for May 6th through May 8th showed highs of 80 degrees and lows of 68. Winds were recorded at around 12 miles per hour, varying slightly day by day. Now, at first glance, this doesn't seem that extreme. But if you're out in 80-degree heat for hours on end without an adequate amount of water, well, that's where things get dangerous. As for those wind gusts, anytime you're up in higher elevations without the protection of rock or tree cover, that wind can be unpredictable. Loose soil can also pose a risk for anyone not careful about watching their footing. I would imagine the potential for a fatal fall is consistently present throughout the trail if anyone decides to wander off the beaten path. Unfortunately, many folks unknowingly put themselves in harm's way to find a shortcut or take that perfect selfie. I'm not saying that's what happened to Chase, but we gotta weigh all options here. Speaking of which, let's take a look at some other possibilities. What about foul play? Well, robbery doesn't seem to fit considering what they found in his backpack. His personal belongings were still in there. His laptop, wallet, and keys hadn't been taken. His cell phone was missing, but most people I know personally usually have their phone on them at all times of the day. Now it's possible he may have tried phoning for help after abandoning his backpack. If cellular service was an issue on that trail, he may have sought higher ground for a better signal. This could also point to another scenario. Had he attempted this exact thing and taken a fall during the process? Had search and rescue closely examined those cliffs? Now, going back to foul play, I believe search dogs would have found some evidence pointing to this very scenario. Besides that, investigators took a close look at everyone in the area on that day. The last scenario we need to consider here is, did Chase disappear on his own accord? Was he struggling with an issue not mentioned by family members? Was he feeling stressed or depressed? Were there any warning signs or any other factors leading up to the time of his disappearance? Well, it doesn't appear this was the case at all. The young man was said to have been in good spirits and was looking forward to watching his brother graduate. Now, given how recent this case is, there's a good possibility that new information will come forward in the days, weeks, and months to come, and I will be watching for these updates. Until then, we can only speculate on what we do and don't know. I believe the answer is still out there on that trail. Its clues hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by anyone lucky enough to stumble across them. Thank you for watching, and may we never forget the sad and strange disappearance of Chase Ingalls.